What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Check out the beautiful architecture here in Philadelphia. I love making photographs of the architecture here. This city has some beautiful, beautiful buildings. I mean, my thought with architecture and sculpture is that they are the apex of art. I believe that all of the greatest buildings, whether it's architecture and sculpture and even paintings, right? Like, these things have elevated the human spirit to these transcendent heights. And you know, when you look at a beautiful building like this is the largest municipal building in the country, right? It stands extremely tall. This was initially the tallest building in the city with William Penn on top. All of these sculptures, ornaments, details, columns, and then here we have this basically a replica of the Pantheon, which is one of the oldest buildings that is still standing since before Christ. And so yeah, we're just about to walk through the beautiful tunnels. Actually, one of the tunnels just finally opened up, and I just wanted to share a simple thought about practicing street photography. When you practice daily, I believe it's good to, you know the lay of the land, right? You want to study your city and get in tune with the rhythm and the beat of the street and where you can expect to be at what times. And look at that trolley. That's how beautiful. That's cool. You got the trolley going by. And so yeah, just sticking to a route, right? So I stick to a pretty similar route each day. And one of the things that I do during my route is I pass through the tunnels of City Hall. And we have 4 tunnels. This tunnel is facing north. This is south, going down Broad Street. Broad Street, I believe, has some of the best backgrounds and architecture. So that's why I'll often include Broad Street in my walk, because I know that the backgrounds are clean. I know that I can expect activity around this time. And yeah, I got the snap focus set to FN so I can get close to people and make pictures that are extremely close up. Like, I can basically go macro mode. You know, when you have the Ricoh, you can set it up in a way where you can go from snap focus to single point autofocus with the FN button. So it becomes really helpful. So you can just get as close as possible in certain situations. But so yeah, these tunnels, right? I think this is the best spot to shoot in Philadelphia. There's something about the consistency of the light and just the way that you can make photos here. Just with this consistency, right? So there's a consistency to the light here, to the light here year round, right? You can always have that clean backdrop with that crushed deep black shadow and have the subjects illuminated in the light. So this is just a nice place to practice. There's always people passing through the halls, and the greatest thing is you can camp around, but mostly what I do is I'll actually just walk through these tunnels. Not to mention we have some beautiful things to look at in these tunnels. There's some incredible sculptures and columns and things. There's Ben Franklin, I believe, up there. You know, these animals up here, like a lion and flowers and things, these details. Ooh. It's funny. It's like I treat myself like a tourist in my hometown, and I believe this is a critical way that I approach my daily routine with photography. You know, just having that curious tourist mindset. An amateur approach, right? Where you're just snapshotting, not taking yourself so seriously, and always open to learn and grow on the street. But yeah, I feel like the tunnels here in City Hall, there's just always activity and there's always consistency with the light. And I think that finding places like this in your routine, wherever you are in the world, where you know that you can find things, where you can find people, where you can find the light, where you can find the background, and going back there over and over again, right? You want to do this with repetition, right? You come to the same location over and over again for years. And I think that's how we can become better photographers, through consistency, routine, studying the light, studying the locations, Yeah, just find a route and stick to it. I don't know. This is I mean, this place is like, look at these materials used. There's like a bird up there. I mean, am I in freaking paradise? Am I in paradise right now? Like, this is crazy. Like, look at that building up there. There's the Masonic Temple. They built that firstly, and then they built City Hall. But yeah, there's just always people coming through. P mode. You know, just keep it simple and just point and shoot. Another thing is I like to make compositions with I like to photograph with my middle finger on the shutter button, so I can go like this and articulate my camera quickly to a vertical frame if need be, so I can get the subjects walking into the frame vertically too. There's just something about, like, I have to adjust my camera strap, but there's something about holding the Ricoh specifically with the middle finger on the shutter, where you can just flick your hand. You don't even have to like articulate your full wrist. And yeah, I find this to be extremely helpful. What else? Yeah, I mean, there's 4 different tunnels I can pass through over and over again. It's like, some days I'm like, I should just stick to the tunnels for like hours and on end, but the great thing about Philadelphia is I can do a full loop around the city and cover every major place, every major spot, every major hotspot within like an hour, right? It takes me like an hour, you know, to cover the majority of locations that are fruitful for street photography. So honestly, like, this city, it really is perfect for street photography. I'm really grateful to have this space to just play every day. Yeah, I was born and raised here, so this is just where I've been, where I grew up, where I started with my photography. Yeah, maybe it's time to go for the long run, do the full 50-year project here.